Prepare
Three
for
different
battle.
performances at the major, but here at ESL One Summer, they are in the exact same place. Lower bracket finals, Kyle.
Oh yeah, and I think T1 definitely gonna be a little more motivated, considering that they lost in this position back at the Animajor. But it's a tough test. Alliance Online are killing it, and the Nico Baby AM, we don't see it very often, but keep in mind this hero was undefeated at the major, 3-0.
All right, Kyle, you've played with both Hanskin as well as Limp. I'm sure you have some personal interactions with FNG. What is your theory on why Alliance looks so much better online, like here at ESL One Summer, or last DPC, or the season before that, and
30 seconds to battle.
aren't able to perform at the major?
So first off, during the last 2 games of the DPC season, FNG was actually staying in my apartment. And notably, Alliance won both of those series. So definitely think there's something to say about your living situation and, you know, being in the same space as a former champion. But end of the day, maybe they're just more comfortable playing from home.
The battle begins.
I think LAN, not jitters necessarily, but, you know, online play has a lot of routine to it. Whereas when you get to a LAN environment, you don't have the same comfort. You're typically like, you know, you have to travel to the arena, you have to wait to play, so you're coming in cold. You know, you don't have time to play a warm-up overthrow or pub directly into your match. And sometimes that can really affect people, but I think they also tried, in a way, a little too hard with the draft. Yesterday, Limp, Tiny, and Magnus. Today, Magnus once again. Just keep giving him these strength style kind of carry / playmaking initiators. And just see what happens. And so far, it's worked really well for him today, or well, throughout the tournament.
So yeah, top lane, what'd you think of this last pick Axe for Cuckoo? They're gonna have a Grimstroke Axe lane trying to pressure this Animage, but the Animage does have a Winter Wyvern behind.
I'll have to see. I actually like it more as a carry in against AM because of how incredibly high damage the Manta Shard build can be. You know, completely ignoring AM's magic resist. I was doing a lot of research for an article on how resistance stacks, and AM, I didn't recognize just how insane it was, but the hero becomes almost invulnerable to magic burst later on in the game because of how the mechanics works. So I think the laning phase will have to go well. Grimstroke's pretty nice in this sense because it allows them to apply a lot of extra pressure. I would worry for Cuckoo though, because you need a blink post Vanguard really early on. Nice healer, a lot of harassment.
Good amount of damage put on the Carl. They do have the water runes coming up, and Carl does still have a bit of regen left. As you can see, he's heavily trying to contest whatever CS Limp is going for. Bottom lane is going to be the Wraith King into the Tidehunter lane, who's a hero who is very adept at being able to deal with Wraith King and his skeletons and the small instances of damage. Kraken Shell just deals with all of that.
Doing a lot of research into damage block too. I was hoping we saw Spectre into Tide.
Oh, Zephyr, that's it. First blood. Slowed down too much by the Arctic Bird, and now Cuckoo's going to find most of his mana is going to be burned away as Nico Baby takes the opportunity to put the pressure on 1v2.
Yeah, I found out earlier today, damage block affects physical damage reflected by Spectre Dispersion. So it's part of the reason I saw at the major a lot of times teams were picking Tide into Spectre. I don't know how much of a role that played into it, but to your point, yeah, skeleton damage almost completely absorbed and negated by the Kraken Shell. So definitely a solid matchup there. Should be able to defend towers quite easily and force Wraith King maybe into the jungle. But mid lane's kind of the one I want to watch here. I think Carl's Doom, when he's been able to play it, it's looked really strong. And this hero, especially against the 3 Alliance cores, you get to that point where you have Shiva's Refresher. Well, that is game winning. You delete Mag, Tide, AM, even just one of the 3. You're almost certainly going to win a team fight if you get them before they cast any spells.
Yeah, the pure damage is a good way of being able to kill the AM if he can get it off on the Animage, right? It's just the danger of the counter spell. So
Yeah.
Carl, both in his performance in lane and throughout the game, is going to be so important for T1's victory or loss.
You lost.
Yep.
Dire's
My two
turret
favorite heroes
has been
against
killed.
AM are Slardar and Axe for this reason. Because you always get to disable. You don't have to worry about
Yeah.
counter spell. You know it's guaranteed going to land. And I love this Nico baby. The early Orb of
Dead
Corruption.
again.
So good.
Yeah, this is the way to play AM nowadays, I think. If you're not going Orb of Corrosion, unless you just have a really bad lane matchup, you can't actually win as Animage, like, just get an Orb of Corrosion, run people down. Supports are free all the time. Cuckoo is going to be forced away, so that pull is probably going to get the entire camp denied, so Cuckoo is not happy with how this lane going. And Tidehunter,
Radiant's courier
he's
has
feeling
been
all right,
killed.
you know? Like, big difference, I think, between these two off lanes. Cuckoo's in more CS, where he's got to burn through regen constantly.
This is another. Is this a kill?
No, he's okay. Then, not quite able to go that deep because he does have 3 levels of Empower in this lane matchup.
And not a bad side. Both sides probably going to play a bit more passive. I will say I actually kind of favor T1 into the later portions of this game. We also
Radiant's middle tower
neglected to
is under
mention they do
attack.
have the Grimstroke Doom combo, so initiation for T1 is going to be key. The one flaw with the Alliance draft is that their initiation really requires like a huge spell to be burnt. Somewhat unrealistic to expect your Lion to get all of your initiation, so either Limp or S4 will have to start off a fight, and it's really low risk for Grimstroke just to throw out a Soulbind. If you catch 2, like, the Doom is going to land, and that's pretty much disaster for Alliance. So expect to see them maybe avoid those, try to play more of a
Dire's
counter
top tower is
initiation
under
/
attack.
reactionary style, rather than try to find fights themselves.
Yeah. Wonder what the spell block
Radiant's
interactions
courier
are
has
if
been
you
killed.
are not the one being doomed, but you're soulbound, as Cuckoo's. Is Cuckoo actually dead here? They're gonna take some time, but Nico Baby's having a hard time actually putting damage onto this axe, especially since he's completely out of mana. So he's just kind of running around with his Vanguard, challenging anybody who wants to fight him. Finally, they do get another round of first spike. Still, though, they're gonna have to keep on poking at him from a distance.
Dire's
Otherwise,
top
this
tower
madman
is
will
under
kill
attack.
somebody. As Orb pushing a couple times, and there it is. Finally, they get the kill.
Dire are
Cuckoo
scared.
doesn't really seem to care too much. He's just chill.
Yeah, this Limp already off into the jungle. And the one danger I heard Lacoste mention, I do like the double squishy support style. I think that this is just sort of because we've developed into almost a heal tank meta. You know, look at all the strength heroes in this game. We've got 5 on the core rolls. Grimstroke, I mean, Zephyr's just not having a great time, but when you run so many strength heroes as cores, it's a lot easier to get away with double range support. But the trouble is, if you're a hero like Grimstroke and you fall behind, it's very tough to like find a place back into the game. Like, where is he supposed to go? I would say maybe bottom, try and finish a kill on S4. Might not do that.
S4 is
It's under attack.
very
odd.
far forward with no help. I'm not sure exactly what that plan, but this kind of gives away his life. We'll have the opportunity to
Dire's
pick up
top
this
tower
hood, or
is
at
under
least pretty
attack.
close to it. Back.
This will be the battle of the Carls, one with a K and one with a C. Only one can reign supreme after the series.
Yeah.
Radiant
Between the
are
two
scared.
offlaners right now, Cuckoo may have died equal amount of times, but he has managed to get a little bit more CS out of lane. It's just these two supports. I feel like Whitemon and Zephyr have performed really well for T1 over the Major, over this ESO1 Summer, but I feel like Ancient Apparition Grimstroke doesn't really have a ton of synergy between the two of them, so they can't like move together. Like they move together, try and gank mid, but it looked very, very forced.
Yeah, there's yeah, you kind of said it. There's no real natural synergy. You get like double cold feet later in the game, both pretty high magic damage, so the Vortex is quite nice, but they're just good heroes. They're very strong meta heroes. I think AA Wyvern are probably the heroes of the patch, and why I think we need a patch before TI, because otherwise, pretty much the supports in this game, you're just going to see all tournament long, specifically AA Wyvern. The mechanics are too good, and no other heroes in Dota can do what they do. Specifically AA. Like, there's no other method of completely preventing healing and regen. And Kuku, I like this. He's going to come swipe the Ancient stack. They're getting a pretty big net worth lead on T1. Yeah, it doesn't look like that way now. That's a Max Devour and Midas Doom. And Axe is going to finish Ancients and look to start farming them pretty much on respawn. It's a nice place to be. Wraith King will likely move to the jungle, already has. This is going to grow for them.
They're going to go for the Doom on S4, the first move by T1's cores, and it is going to be a successful gank. Meanwhile, farther up the river, as we're going to watch Carl die here. They're going to try and chase down Zephyr. Zephyr is going to be pulled back into the Shockwave. Pretty easy kill for Alliances. They trying to invade the triangle a little bit, while S4 was going down in bottom lane.
Looking for Limp to get involved shortly. He's going the Echo Saber build, so he's playing more of a farming style, but he's the one who's going to have to try and make some moves here. Coming behind Kuku.
Trying to trap him down, but he's at half health with no mana, so it's, again, really hard for this AM to actually do damage. They're going to catch up the Limp here. The Ice Blast is going to spot him out, but a Skewer away will get him out of range, but 23 Savage is there with a stun. RP immediately being used, but he may still burn out. Meanwhile, behind, there's Chaos as the units can fall onto Nico Baby. They bring him down? I don't think so. They just do not have the damage, so Carl's just going to run down FNG, it looks like, instead. Ultimately, it's going to be a support for support trade-off, but RP did have to be used to save Limp's life.
That's most unfortunate. It's the Max Empower build. I've seen this a couple times from Max who played middle, but it's really difficult to do anything when you go this style. I think he just more than anything wants to buff up Nico Baby and help him accelerate a bit faster, which is crushing a score.
Down, Battle Hunger. If he gets like 3 spins,
Radiant's middle tower.
he can get a Culling Blade off. Maybe it's just 1 or 2. He's just below the lane. Oh no! He survived. He would have 258 HP after the stick, and Kuku misses the Culling Blade as a result.
Very close. He had dropped to like 220, 230. The stick saved him, as you said. But the thing is, check out the network. You can see Doom is accelerating. The spins, I swear, whenever Axis needs spins, they just don't get him. He had the window right there, and then stick came out to save. He had it earlier as well. Either way, pretty content, I think. T1, they've kept control of their mid tower.
Bottom lane, Nico Baby's not expecting an Invis Doom. That's just unfair.
Killed and cauterized.
Now he's got a Blink Dagger, so Carl is way ahead of the pack when it comes to net worth, though he's not so far ahead of Kuku, who also has his Blink Dagger as well. So mass initiation tools now available for T1. This game is about to get, I think, pretty active.
Oh yeah, definitely. The thing is, it doesn't really have to be, right? They're gonna eke out a net worth advantage no matter what. And let's say, shout out to Carl. I feel like he's just been a rock for this stack. Like, you can say whatever you want about 23 Savage. He gets a lot of love and support. Like, none of the players on this team are not deserving of their slot. But I think Carl and the mid roll in general is just so tough to find someone who can be above all else consistent. And Carl's been able to do so in a variety of different styles as well. Like the mid Doom, this is a specialty hero. And when I think of other players, like say Iceberg is an example, who played it in Eastern Europe, he had like 3 or 4 heroes. You're like, okay, he's very good on these. I think Carl's list is closer to 20.
No, he's certainly been stellar for T1 as they're going to try and go for an advantage this time. Oh, they pick up a kill on Hoskin, but they're going to run into the Ravage, into the Skewer like pins. They're all going to fall here as Cuckoo is going to be the last one left alive, but he's got nowhere to run to. 3 down from a big move from Alliance. Nicely played by S4, just scooping up right behind him like that with the Ravage.
They really needed to get that, like, some manner of finding kills. I don't think T1 should be here, though, to be fair. There's no real objective they're playing for in this side of the map. If you want to make this kind of move, I think mid-tower
Radiant's
would
middle
be a
tower
much
is
better
under
choice.
attack.
And in this case, they're doing so without Doom. And there's just no need to make any sort of play with Doom on cooldown and without Carl. Like, just wait the extra 30, 60 seconds. They're really not pressured by anything. AM is not a threat at the moment. So just relax a bit, fight for towers. You want to make that play again, do it now, but do it around mid.
Well, Doom is up and Ravage is down, so we'll see what T1 does. I thought they were going to smoke there for a second, but instead they just show all their heroes here, and it looks like they're just going to rush at the mid-tier 1 tower. I don't know, 23 Savage was coming over, but now he's backed off, so maybe somebody said it's a bad idea.
And just being disruptive. Oh, hang on. As I say, maybe a fight.
23 Savage is going to be picked. They're going to burn away his mana. He's got 8 stick charges, but he's not going to be able to get it off. Double ultimates put him down before he gets the chance to save his own life.
A really nice smoke from Alliance. You saw 23 Savage. He placed his own ward. Now they're going to get the ward too. So, like, the best smoke you can hope for, because you kill Vision and you get the enemy carry. It looks like he is probably maybe not supposed to be there, but you don't expect your ward to be seen by already smoked heroes. So again, like T1, I really hope that they just make a move for this mid tower, though. That was the opening just before. Now, Ravage is coming back up in 20 seconds. That window is shut, and their movements now will be against an Alliance squad at full strength. Notably, Nico, he went for the Echo Saber build, so Limp's gonna have to be really disciplined about ensuring Empower's always left on. It's better in the sense that if you are empowered, it's better to spend this money than try and like save for a Battle Fury or something. But it also means Nico Baby is gonna be a lot stronger early in these engagements. So they'll likely be getting involved. You can't give away free towers, but now T1 they'll make the move.
Radiant are
Skewering on back, Cuckoo getting ripped apart by all this damage. Jeez. That was a little bit more than I expected, but the empowered mag hitting for over 200 damage ahead with Coach as well. They're gonna be able to get the soul behind double doom. They got his flat down as well. That's gonna be 2 kills instantly for T1. Now the other 2, Lem and SNG, were able to get back here. So they may still have a chance to defend this tower if T1 try and pressure it.
We'll see.
Dire's top tower is
I don't
under
think they
attack.
really have the ability to do that just yet with the build that 23 Savage is
Dire
elected
are
for.
scanning.
Unless did he just change it up? What? Oh, he went for Blink straight away. Just kidding. So he had Radiance queued up for a while, but he just straight up purchases the Blink Dagger. I think this is the right move because it'll allow them to capitalize on the pretty big teamfight edge they have at the moment. And if you try to go, I don't know, Radiance in this game, like what would be its purpose, right?
Yeah.
Farm a bit faster, sure, but it's not as if you win for guaranteed into the hyper late game. In fact, I think that their timing is going to be a bit limited, specifically around Carl's Doom and his item progression. Like the BKB is insane. He'll be able to go in, Doom anybody he chooses, likely the Mag or the Tide, and theoretically Savage then can get onto a backline support. They really want to find the Wyvern, which I think any game you see the hero, you're going to hear the casters say, because it's just necessary. This guy is a game winner, especially when played by FNG.
Yeah, FNG's had a lot of experience in these kind of saving 5 positions. They do have a BKB now up for the Doom. Cuckoo's going to TP in here, but actually cancels it as they backed away. Alliance backed away, so he's just like, okay, I'm just going to push out mid, try and force them to rotate over T1. Kind of setting up here. I'm going to be able to go for S4 now. S4 does have the cell. Glass is coming in as well. No! He missed the RP! He didn't get off the blink beforehand. S4 is going to be burned out here. What happened to Limp?
The Scorched Earth, I think.
Oh, yeah, I think you're right. That is so annoying. We'll watch that one again. It's you could see Limp was setting up to be able to hit the RP, and then all of a sudden, boop.
It's a deceptive AOE. Wait, was it? Was it the Scorched Earth? Did it hit him all the way over there? Or did he just miss Blink?
I think he just missed Blink.
Oh, check it out after the fact. Can't believe AM plus 8 armor talent, level 15. Where is that? So good.
Yeah, and he is farming up a machine thanks to the Empower. Maybe not quite as much as a Doom, but that's just a little unfair to compare to. He is going to have his Manta very soon on Nico Baby. Meanwhile, Carl's Doom already has a BKB and is working towards Shivas. Now, I actually was watching the T1 OG game yesterday, and I saw early ban, maybe it was the VP game, the early ban of Doom, right? And I thought, somebody asked me, like, why are we banning Doom? And I said, for T1, I feel like this Doom is really good for them because they're so good at late game team fights. And Doom always gives you a late game edge. Do you, in general, agree with that?
It just makes the game plan simpler, right? Like, you're always going to have tools to win an engagement. You never really feel like your draft is going to fall off. So it allows T1 to just play a more balanced style. Like, if you, instead of Doom,
Radiant's
are running
top tower is
pretty
under
much
attack.
anything that doesn't have Devour and Midas, like, you're on more of a clock. But even in this game, you're playing against Mag, Hyde, Anti-Mage, but it doesn't feel like you're on a clock at all. And I think that's all the power of the Doom.
Yeah, no, I
Radiant's
totally
top
agree,
tower
especially
is
with
under attack.
Hanskin describing T1 style as being very oppressive. Like, they like to pressure you a lot early on. Doom is certainly a hero that, as you're saying, like, can go late game thanks to the way he generates gold, but is also able to be active and pressure enemy heroes. So it's kind of the best of both worlds for T1.
Yeah, but you can see their gold lead is growing. You know, you don't typically see this against Empower drafts, but this is what happens when you have a Doom, a Wraith King constantly farming his Cuckoo. No, he's going to go BKB, so they won't have the Manta Shard Axe. I think that's actually a pretty big power
Dire's
spike if he
middle
does go
tower
that
is under
route,
attack.
just for killing the Anti-Mage, because they
Yeah.
will have some difficulty with that if
Dire
they don't get
are
the Doom off.
scanning.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised he isn't going that route, because as you said,
Me
the
too.
pure damage is so effective, but I guess maybe they feel like they'll be putting too many eggs into a late game basket. Still though, I mean, I'm looking at this. This is mostly a single core draft for Alliance, right? Like, this Mag can scale up and do a lot of physical damage, but they're mostly riding on the AM's late game output. I feel like Doom always is a pretty good answer to that.
Just crazy. I haven't seen mid towers alive this long in some time. It's 22 minutes almost. No Roche threat, and because there's no tier ones, you can't really make a play for Roche. You need to make a play for kills. They're gonna go for it. Savage.
23 Savage has the shard, so he's not going to die here right away.
Radiant's middle tower
On his
is
second
under
one,
attack.
die again, he will. There is nothing they can do about that. There's just too many heroes on top of the carry of T1. Now, not only is the Wraith King dead, but reincarnation is on cooldown. T1 are not going to go and let this Roshan happen for free. Smoke breaks. Cuckoo, look at his positioning.
Bait the DD.
On
Dire's
skin.
top tower is under attack.
Didn't get the CD. Oh, still coming in. 2 minutes on Mike with the 2 minutes. Well, just beautiful stuff from T1, and the fight is seemingly already over as the two cores are dead. On a white mana. Winter's Curse does actually hold them in place and kills the ancient apparition finally. Maybe they can get out of here, but they're not going to win this fight without their 2 damage dealers. Hey, okay, Cold Embrace after Cold Embrace is saving him. Carl's done with that nonsense, though. He chases away the Winter Wyvern while his other 2 allies focus on the Escort Tidehunter. 3rd core down, and Alliance lose control of
Dire's
hits.
middle tower is
23
under
Savage is
attack.
back online, and
Dire's
he
structures
wants that
are
mid
fortified.
tower.
Gotta respect T1 a little bit more, Cat. They have no Ravage, there was a buyback on the Wraith King, but he didn't even have to use it because the perfect initiation
Dire's
comes
middle
off. And
tower has
perhaps
fallen.
they were lulled into a false sense of security. They had the ward to the left, so they just don't see anybody. And then before you know it, you're double stopped and double doomed on both your cores. So really just excellent job. T1, it's the patience that's been winning them a lot of their games. Because if they rush in, they try to get a DD on their Doom, like, they're not getting the initiation. They're not winning that fight. But they have the wherewithal to just camp the high ground, wait, and Alliance just wander into their own demise. Really nice job. Hopkins did a cool play at the end there. He mana drained Carl, preventing the second Scorched Earth and a potential Warp Stop, so that actually saved both supports' lives. But either way, huge win for T1. I think they're going to be content to just chill now, wait for Doom to come back up. You got BKB on Wraith King soon. He's going to need that, or he's going to die twice in a row. Pretty much all game.
Radiant are scanning.
Reincarnation is back up again, but 23 Savage is being patient. Lent managed to find a nice skewer back onto two of them, unable to get out the RP. But he does so now. That is going to be both of them dying. Oh, Kuku doesn't get out the BKB. There's a call with the Angel as well. The double soul bind, the silence stacking up, and they are both dead. Now FNG chased down by Carl as well. Once again, T1 just responding to Alliance and out initiating them. I thought this
Radiant
time around a nice
structures are
two-man
fortified.
RP, but damn, Cuckoo
Dire's
survives
bottom
through
tower is
just
under
long
attack.
enough to get off his BKB, and now he's going to be able to catch 23 Savage as well. The stun follow-up, the silence put onto him, that is going to potentially be a team wipe as long as they've got enough stuns, and they do.
Dire's middle
All
tower
right.
is under attack.
Yeah, hit him with the tips too. I like it. What in the hell is Nico Baby doing back there? Either way, that is a team wipe. And Alliance just, again, they don't respect the power of T1. They get the kill on Wraith King. You said, oh, they're both dead. Yeah, well, Wraith King has built-in Reincarnate, and Kuku had a BKB. Like, he has 3,000 health. There's no way that these are the right RP targets. And Alliance, like, they just don't have sustained damage in teamfights right now because their AM is not farmed. He's equal with the Wraith King, and he's had Empower all game. Like, that is nowhere near enough gold to try and carry this out. 12k gold lead, and look at the build, like Carl. He's got Refresher, he's halfway there almost.
Man, they used the Finger of Death on the right target too to try and blow up Cuckoo fast enough, and it still wasn't enough. This man is so tanky, Jesus. Just a Vanguard and a BKB, and he's got 3,000 HP. I think he was escaping from the team fight. Maybe he was cutting creep
Well,
wave.
he had teleport in 20 seconds. He was just getting greedy. And T1, they're just gonna come. Oh, Anti-Mage, yeah, sure. I'll blow a TP and try and make it happen. Did we get any giggles? A couple.
And it feels like, Kyle, that that pressure that we're talking about, that late game pressure of like, okay, we don't actually outscale the enemy, that I feel like Alliance is feeling that pressure a lot, and that's why they're trying to make
Dire's
these moves,
middle
but they're
tower is
not
under
doing
attack.
it as cleanly as T1 has been able.
Are scanning.
I mean, just look at the late game now. Because of Zephyr's performance and how many kills he's been a part of, he's gonna have an Aghanim Scepter soon. So if they
Radiant's
ever
top
catch the
tower is
AM
under attack.
with a Soul Bind, and then they manage
Dire's
to Dark
middle
Portrait
tower
him,
is
his
under
own
attack.
illusion is gonna burn through all of his mana.
Dire's structures are fortified.
T1 is not
Dire's
falling
middle
off.
tower is under
All of their
Radiant's top
heroes
tower
can
has
continue to
fallen.
buy pretty much just a full set of more
Radiant's
items,
top
like
tower
23
is
Savages,
under
what,
attack.
Armlet, BKB, Blink, a hell of a lot stronger.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
Nice read there by Hanskin. Blink it away, just as Cuckoo trying to find him. Still, though, doesn't solve
Radiant's
the current
top
problem,
tower
which
is
is
under
that
attack.
T1 is sort of able to just 5-man around, massacring buildings as they
Yeah.
go.
You're going to lose that engagement, especially now that BKBs are out, which
Radiant's top
effectively
tower
remove
is under
S4's
attack.
hero from the game. The Tide's
Dire's
fantastic,
bottom
but
tower
Doom
has
just
fallen.
does everything better. And I think, you heard
Dire's
Lacoste on the
bottom
panel. He's like
tower is
kind of
under
questioning
attack.
it because that's like, he's been retired for like 8 years. But even back at TI2, you knew, hey, don't pick Tide into Doom.
Haste.
And back then, we knew that AM versus Wraith King was good, as they're going to be able to find the Winter Wyvern. But back then, Wraith King didn't have talents or shard. And nowadays, just in 20 minutes, the Wraith King is already able to deal with the quote-unquote counter.
Yeah, I mean, T1, they're just chilling. They are in no hurry whatsoever. The Alliance at some point are going to get feisty. They're going to think, all right, we got our spells. We're falling behind. Let's try and get a gank going. Because they just don't have the space on the map for Nico Baby to really confidently stretch his legs. But I don't know. Oh, the Baker
No, S4. That's 1,000 damage crit. Ice Blast as well. BKB being used just to make sure they do get this kind of free kill that was available. Very unfortunate for S4 as he was just about to take that DD. And then maybe 23 Savage doesn't have the same kind of damage that threatened him. But now, 23 Savage, after getting that killed, is just going to force things around the Roshan pit. And there can the first Aegis of the game.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
Now,
attack.
the other thing about the BKBs that are really interesting is that it kind of removes FNG. Like the whole support duo. They can't play Yoda into this triple BKB, and they picked them up quite early for all three heroes. They had them before 25. Wyvern Curse, obviously, it can freeze the unit, but if you are BKB'd, you're not going to be brought in to attack that ally. So you don't have that turnaround potential. Like Alliance, their whole draft is kind of engineered on this idea that the Wyvern and the Mag kind of cover each other. But Wyvern can't do that. You can at best stop a hero for a couple of seconds.
Who's just trying to take the outpost, and Hunskin was just messing with him for like 20 seconds straight. He threw 2 Earth Spikes and a Hex each time to stop him from getting off the outpost. Obviously, they will eventually get it, and they will very likely be getting this tier 2 tower as Alliance.
Oh, look at Carl, man. He didn't, I love it. He didn't get the refresher. He went back for Eon Disc. The only way Alliance win a fight is by killing him, and now you can.
That's a good point.
Sick. Like, the refresher wasn't needed, right? You already have double doom thanks to your Grimstroke. If you survive and cast R, you will win the fight for your team.
Oh, it's your Kyle.
Oh, God, the Ags, too.
The Aghanim Scepter, Dark Portrait against an Anti-Mage. Oh, God.
And Cuckoo, he's closing. He'll have a Mantis.
Bounty!
Like, they're just so strong. Like, every item they're buying is massive damage increase. And the only person on Alliance whose net worth is even slowly increasing
Radiant
is their
are
AM.
scanning.
And there's just not enough damage on him, Cap. Now an AC, it's a 10 armor switcheroo.
I mean, Alliance, they do have this big team fight that they've got 3 different heroes with just the massive team fight changing abilities. They've got Ravage, RP, and Winter's Curse. But it feels like even if they get off the dream scenario at this point against the 3 strength cores and not having any percentage-based damage, they're going to have a very hard time actually winning that team fight, even if they do hit the biggest stunning ultimates.
They need a miracle. Carl has Arcane Rune. He really wants to get in.
Oh, and the smoke out from Alliance, but they're going to run right into 23 Savage.
Zephyr just wants to look at their ready. They just want a soul buy.
Oh, got it. You can lead a soul buy and a double 2. It just keeps happening. They're so good at it. They don't even need it. At these combinations, and now they're going to be able to get the call onto FNG as well. So Winter's Curse is already thrown out, but it doesn't do anything. Grimstroke actually using his vision. There goes the Dark Portrait. He's silenced up. He's King's Swell, and now he's going to be called as well. Oh my God, they didn't even need the Doom, and it showed. They just swamped Alliance with straight up Soulbind and beautiful Blink initiation.